Boom. Greetings, greetings. He's back for the follow up of my book review. Yeah, big stuff happening here. Yeah. So let's get it on. Let's not waste any more time. We have wasted enough time as it is. Collectively and personally, yeah, I've wasted time in my life for sure. I've wasted money. I've wasted time. I've wasted relationship. No more. No more wasting. Yeah. So let's get it on. I will share my screen. Give me a second to fix that. Share screen. Et voila. You should see it. Okay, it's on the screen. So I think we were at key 18. Let me check to be sure. We are live. It says live. I'll put on the chat. Chat is there. And then in case someone show up. Okay, so yeah, key number 18. Do not fear the unknown. Be courageous. I would say be brave. I prefer be brave than do not fear the unknown. Be brave. Be bold. Be bold and brave. Be bold and brave. Can I say that? Probably. Anyway, it's stuff that I might change again in the future, but I think it's gonna probably be a. Maybe we'll do another review after. I don't know. We'll see. Fear is the human motive for aversion. Fear doesn't help us commit to higher aims. It doesn't help us imagine greatness. Its sole aim is immediate release from threat, strain, or pain. Almost all the fear we experience today has nothing to do with physical threat. We have taken this impulse for safety and bastardize it into ego driven desires to feel more emotionally comfortable. Dealing with physical fear. Let us reawaken to life unbounded, finding inspiration in the fact that humans throughout the millennia have learned to overcome their fears. They changed how they reacted to fearful impulses. They took a deep breath, contemplated whether or not their fears were rational, and visualized the growth they would experience by moving forward. They took those steps forward again and again until they found that their fear was no longer so powerful or even present. This is called self mastery. Let us learn from them and put these practices into our lives. Let us choose to master our minds and manifest more power over our fears. Courage is the principle that combines love and power. Courage, a synonym for courage. We're going to look at this. Give me a second. I'm going to find a synonym for courage because I don't like the rage in there. Et en français, c'est courage. T'as de la rage dans le cou? Yeah. I have tension in the neck. It's enough. I don't need to have rage too. So, yeah. Synonym. Synonym dictionary. Okay, thesaurus. That's the one. Bravery, maybe bravery. We'll see what they give us for courage. My computer is a little slow here. A grammar coat. Yeah. Okay. Audacity, bravery, daring, determination. I like determination. Endurance, fearlessness, firmness, fortitude, 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 and determination. That's what I'm going to put there. Fortitude and determination. Yeah. So fortitude and determination is the principle that combines love and power. Yeah, I agree with that. The power element is perhaps. Hold on. So uh, that's it. The power element is perhaps the more obvious of the two. Men, when we think of fortitude, determination here. When we think of determination, we imagine someone taking bold action, and action is an expression of power. However, the love component of courage, of determination, is equally important. Love is the motivational force behind determination. Our deepest connection that connections. Yeah, it's our deepest connection that inspires us to be courageous, to be brave. In the first place, when we feel disconnected, there's no desire to be brave. No reason for risk taking and no call to action. So let's reread that to see if it makes sense. Fortitude and determination is the principle that combines love and power. Yeah, because the fortitude is the security inside, the yeah, the knowing the fact that you are secure, you're not insecure. So that's a huge power right there. When you don't feel insecure, you're in power. It means you won't be judgmental, you won't be and that's love too. So yeah, fortitude and determination is the principle that combines love and power. The power element is perhaps the more obvious of the two. When we think of determination, we imagine someone taking bold action, and action is an expression of power. However, the love component of determination is equally important. Love is the motivational force behind determination. It's our deepest connection that inspires us to be brave in the first place. When we feel disconnected, there's no desire to be brave, no reason for risk taking, and no call to action. When your mind predicts the positive long term outcome but a negative short term outcome from a course of action, hold on, what it says? When your mind predicts a positive long term outcome but the negative short term, is something not working here. When your mind predicts a positive long term outcome, okay, okay, that's it. But a negative, that's it. So instead, a negative. So what I could say is when your mind predict a positive long term outcome, but instead a negative short term. Courage is to bridge the gap. That's it. I gotta put something here. Something. When your mind predicts a positive long-term outcome, but focus on a negative short-term reaction. Yeah. But put the but. I don't like the but there. And instead, focus on a negative short term outcome from a course of action. Courage is required to bridge the gap. And now we're going to replace that word courage for something else. Courage. So determination is required. Fearlessness, firmness, fortitude. Fortitude. Heroism, prowess, spirit, spunk, tenacity. Tenacity. I like that one. Tenacity is required. Yeah, tenacity. Tenacity is required to bridge the gap. If you want to leave unfulfilling relationship, quit an uninspiring job, or restore an unfit body to a state of health, the long-term outlook may be wonderful, but you can also expect short-term challenges as you transition. Courage is the application of power to break through short-term challenges in order to achieve long-term goals. Yeah, tenacity there. I prefer tenacity. Tenacity is the application of power to break through short term challenges in order to achieve long term goals. That's it. You need to be solid at it. Tenace. Quand t'es tenace, tu lâches pas quelque chose. Là. You don't let it go. Là. So that's it. That's what you need to break through short term challenges in order to achieve long term goals. Courage. Determination is an essential element of conscious living because it enables us to choose long term gain in the face of short term obstacle. Of a present living, of a conscious. Let's see what they give us. Conscious. We'll get that done eventually. Yes, yes. Day by day. Eventually we'll be done. Conscious. Attentive. Attention. That's what I said the last time. Where's my page? So in this essential element of attentiveness living, of conscious, of present living, of hold on, there's something not working here. Of vigilant living, sensible, responsive, mindful, maybe mindful living. Yeah. Cognizant, coherent living. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, coherent. Because it enables us to choose long term gain in the face of short term challenge. Without sufficient determination, your default behavior will be to play it safe by favoring false security over purposeful action. Keep working at the stable job even though it doesn't fulfill you. Remain in the unsatisfying relationship even though you feel dead inside. Accept your lot in life and make the best of it. Go with the flow and don't rock the boat. Hopefully, the currents of life will pull you in a favorable direction. This is the mindset of cowardice. of the weak and cowards, maybe. But why do we take the word cow here and turn it into something negative when the cow is the very representation of the earth? You see, we take the word cow to say cowardice. Mm, I think I'm going to change that. This is the mindset of the weak and the weak and impulsive, or the weak and the weak. This is the mindset of the weak. This is the mindset of cowardice. We're gonna check for synonym. Cowardice, faint-heartedness, fearfulness, funk, fear, gutlessness, mousiness, wimpiness. And I should say maybe the mindset of the weak and inattentive. No, I don't want to say the weak. Of the inattentive and unfocused beings. Yeah. It's not so rough towards people. I don't want. That's it. I don't want to put you on track. You're just inattentive and unfocused. Cowardice. It's a bit far. I don't like to trash others like this, because if I trash others, I'm trashing myself. So, no. So hopefully the currents of life will pull you in a favorable direction. This is the mindset of the inattentive and unfocused beings. Inattentive, or this is the mindset of the distracted, inattentive. Yeah, I'm going to put this. This is the mindset of the distracted, inattentive, and unfocused beings. That's better than cowardice. When you disconnect from your core self, you experience fear. When you then refuse to face your fear, you disconnect even more. Fear isn't something to be avoided. It's the arrow pointing back to your true self. A good rule of thumb to follow is this: whatever you fear, you must eventually face. And what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. That's it. Sorry. So what you must. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, why those? Oh, I'm having some nose issue here. Okay, I'm good. Woo. Okay. So what did we say? Hold on, I'll blow my nose and I'll be right here. Hi, Leslie. Greetings, greetings. Hold on a second. Okay. Boom. So that's it. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Next key. Key number 19, maintain great habits. Maintain great uplifting habits. No, habits. That's it. So habits are memorized solution. When your mind figures out how to get something done, it saves the solution, which is which is reinforced whenever you apply it. Driving a car, eating a meal, and reading written text are all memorized solutions. It took you a lot of effort to learn these skills. Skills. I don't like that word. Skills. You have the word kill in there. Skills. Abilities. We'll put abilities here. But today you can replay these known patterns instead of starting from scratch every time. Habits are your mind's approach to time management. It would be extremely inefficient for you to consciously decide how to spend every minute of every day. Consciously. What word did we have for consciously? Let's go back to Thesaurus. Consciously. Deliberately. That's what we're going to put. Deliberately. So it would be for you to deliberately. I think it's like that. Decide how to spend every minute of every day. Your conscious mind, what the my god, I forgetting my words. I had the words, a whole bunch of words for that. I think I have my own dictionary too. I should put it up on the screen. Conscious, vigilant, watchful. What did we say? Cognizant. Cognizant. Does it fit there? Decide to your cognizant mind has better things to do than solve the same problems over and over. So it delegates known problems to your subconscious mind in order to recall and apply the memorized solution. Your awake mind, your aware mind has better things to do than solve the same problem over and over. Delegates those problems to your subconscious mind. So conscious and subconscious. Your conscious mind. Let's see. Your mindful mind, no. Your sensible, your cognizant mind. Aware, attentive. Attentive, I think I prefer attentive. So your attentive mind or your attentive part of your mind or the attentive part of your mind or your conscious head. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck here. Because I don't want to put con. I don't like that word conscience and con and like. I want you to have a good experience also when you read that book. It's not just programming and merci bonsoir. It's like there's a huge effort here to get rid of words that are not really resonating positive vibe. Some are, I don't know. Your conscious mind. I will come back on this. Conscious and your attentive mind. Because you can be conscious, that doesn't mean you're attentive. That's the thing. Because conscious and unconsciousness, but if we talk about subconscious, we talk about the part of the brain that works without us knowing. So subconscious, so sub-attentive, I can't really say that. So your conscious mind, I don't know if you have any suggestion. If you do, let me know. Let me know. Anyway, we'll keep going and I will get back to this anyway. So it delegates problem to your subconscious mind in order to recall and apply the memorized solution. Whenever you delegate problems to your subconscious mind, your conscious mind is free to focus on higher level functions. Unfortunately, your innate habit forming powers have some significant drawbacks. Sometimes your subconscious mind will memorize inefficient, inaccurate, or ineffective solutions. I don't want to choose words also that are too uh, that we don't usually use, so we can easily refer to what we're talking about. Like if I say your sub inattentive mind, like it's a bit like we're used to say subconscious or conscious, or it is what it is. Don't get con. It's not like you can use a word, like I can use the word conscious, but I don't like the con. That's the thing. But that doesn't mean I'm being con. I mean I'm seeing what signify I'm seeing what I'm saying. That's all. But I struggle with the words a bit like that. Yeah. So you may learn that smoking is a good way to handle stress, or that complaining is the best way to garner sympathy and attention. In order to align yourself with truth, love, and power, you must eventually uproot and replace habits that have serious negative effects. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. In order to align yourself with truth, love, and power, you must eventually uproot and replace habits that have serious negative side effects. In this habit section, you'll begin to consciously evaluate your. Here I can put attentively. You'll begin to attentively evaluate your current habits, identify positive changes you'd like to make, and learn practical techniques to make permanent shift. This will not be easy, even when you know what to do and how to do it. Changing ingrained habits can be very difficult. Some people prefer to die than change their habit. So it's very changing a habit or letting go of a habit is very hard for sure. Because look, smoking, people prefer to die than stop smoking or drinking or whatever. So the habit sometimes is very, very strong. So we can, and it's negative, so we can reinforce a very, very positive habit and have the same effect. Like take an habit of praise, serving, and bowing to higher and divine, it will become very, very strong. Eventually, with time, you strengthen the habit, and yeah. The comprehensive approach presented herein will give you a definite edge in this area. But ultimately, your success will be determined by your alignment with the seven principle: truth, love, power, oneness, authority, courage, and intelligence. Here we'll put the. What the heck? Just want to replace the word. Intelligence, authority. Okay, so I fixed it. So being true to your habit is an important step, but nothing will change if you don't take action. You must accept the greater truth that if you don't consciously and deliberately alter your habits, you'll continue reinforcing your existing patterns by default, and your predicted outcomes will likely come to pass. If you wish to improve upon those results, you must do whatever it takes to change your habits now. If you expect the process to be brutally difficult, facing a significant short term challenge today is vastly superior to decades of regret. A common mistake people make when seeking to change entrenched habit is assuming that they must tackle such challenges alone and in private. That simply isn't true. The principle of love reminds you to take advantage of your ability to connect. Connect. Let's find another word for that. Connect. Associate? No. Attach, hook up, join, relate, affix, ally, consociate, cohere, bridge, fasten, come aboard, network with. Hmm. Network? Maybe to network. The principle reminds you to take it to network. Yeah, I prefer network. Enlist the help Enlist the help of others to dramatically increase your chances of success. Don't let pride get in the way of results. Reach out and ask for help. It's a virtual certainty that other people have already navigated the changes you wish to make in your life. Instead of painstakingly figuring out your own solutions from scratch, take advantage of the collective wisdom of others. Yeah, for sure. Seek out role models who've already achieved what you desire and request advice or mentoring. Look for good books on the topic and apply what you learn from them. Ask for help and support from friends and family. Find someone to coach you through the process of change, even if you have to pay for their time. Don't feel as though you're imposing on others by asking them for help. They're always free to say no or to request a fair exchange of value in return, but often they'll be delighted to help you for free, of course. With just a few minutes of effort on their part, other people can offer you advice that may save you months of wasted effort. Most folks find it very rewarding to provide basic help when requested, especially when they know you'll apply their suggestion. You can take this step further by using the power of communion. Consider joining a group like minded people who share compatible goals, especially a group that meets at least weekly. Learn from others who are farther along the same path you want to travel. You'll be overwhelmed by how supportive and encouraging complete strangers can be when you connect with them through such group. When you network with them, when you network with them through such group, strong addictions are rarely overcome without outside help. One of the best solutions is to find someone who has already overcome your addiction and ask them to mentor you through the process of quitting. Where was I? Okay. People who've successfully made such a change know how difficult it is and are often happy to assist others through the process. This is the basis of many organizations such as Alcoholic Anonymous, a society of almost 2 million people who work together to overcome alcohol addiction. In a similar vein, ask yourself if there are any incompatible connections you need to release. Any incompatible relationship you need to release. Yeah, relationships. You need to release. Do you have a circle of cynical friends who complain incessantly, encouraging you to adopt an equally disempowering attitude? Do you enjoy smoke breaks with your coworkers, making it harder for you to quit? Is your roommate a complete slob, preventing you from being more organized? It's important to recognize that the ongoing influence of your social circle will often be the deciding factor when it comes to habit change. Make a habit of intentionally reaching out and connecting with others. Break the limiting pattern of trying to do everything solo. Join a club or attend social events just for the experience of networking with new people. Networking with new people and expanding your social network. That's it. This habit will benefit you in ways you can scarcely imagine, filling your life with empowering friends you never have met otherwise. It's okay to have friends as long as they help you evolve. The thing with friends, the word says it, free ends, end to your freedom. Or, yeah. Face facts, be honest. So, as PT Lotus Ocean mentioned in his book, acknowledging facts is a facts, speaking facts, reiterating facts is what automatically leads to praise of higher and divine. Only real stairway to heaven is the stairway of facts. Civilization have never sustained their health and prosperity without relying on a large quantity of factual information. Individuals also require large quantity of factual information because it is the true information that allows us to navigate effectively in the real world. Because we live in the real world, it is nearly always to our advantage to face the facts about our world than it is to remain ignorant of them. Also, self awareness, the willingness to face facts about ourselves, especially those inconvenient truths, is important for living our lives authentically. Humans are distinctly rational animals. Humans respond to reason, and reason relies on facts, not fear. False statements provide no rational support for anything. Truth is the essential element of reason, and reason is the essential justification for action. Truth forms the basis for trust. To the extent people are generally dishonest and untrustworthy, peaceful and productive social life becomes more difficult because it's more difficult. So, to the extent people are generally dishonest and untrustworthy, peaceful and productive social life become more difficult. That's it. And I should say, and then peaceful and productive life, it's going to be more. And then peaceful and productive social life becomes more difficult. Lying undermines the cohesion of human society. Because people regularly engage in lies, we must carefully interpret all that we hear. You submit to tyranny when you renounce the difference between what you want to hear and what is actually the case. Doubt, whatever, truth, reality, facts, feeling, belief, truth, claim, knowledge, opinion, evidence. Yeah. YouTube. Key number 21, starve your distraction, feed your focus strategically. Focus and concentration, focus and attention. Focus and attention can be difficult to master. Sure, most people want to learn how to improve focus and boost concentration. Boost their attention, their attention level. But actually doing it, we live in a noisy world and constant distraction can make focus difficult. Focus can only occur when we have said yes to one option and no to all other options. In other words, elimination is a prerequisite for focus. As Tim Ferriss says, what you don't do determines what you can do. Of course, focus doesn't require permanent no, but it does require present no. You always have the option to do something else later, but in the present moment, focus requires that you only do one thing. Focus is the key to productivity because saying no to every other option unlocks your ability to accomplish the one thing that is left. Now, for the important question. What can we do to focus on the things that matter and ignore the things that don't? Inner focus refers to self awareness and self management. How well we can tune in to our guiding values, for instance, or know our strengths and limits, which in turn gives us a realistic sense of self confidence. And also, handle our distressing emotions so they don't interfere with getting things done. Marshal our positive emotion to stay motivated in working toward our goals and bounce back from setbacks. Other focus describes how well we attune to people. Our empathy, which allows us to understand how people perceive things, how they feel, and what we can do to help them be at their best. And tuning in to others, this way provides the basis for ability and in for ability and competencies like motivating people, motivating employees, persuasion and influence, negotiation and conflict resolution, and increasingly important, teamwork and collaboration. Outer focus has to do with how well we can sense the large forces that shape our world, whether well, let's see, whether organizational dynamics, like whose opinion matters most for a decision. Outer awareness allows a leader, for example, to formulate a winning strategy that anticipates what's coming. Concentrate, focus, concentrate your forces. Canalize your forces. Canalize. I prefer canalize. And there's a word, analyze, canalize. Concentration. What did I add on this before? Center, maybe? Maybe centralization of your forces. Centralization of your forces. Conserve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. By keeping them centralized on the strong at their strongest point. Conserve, conserve. Anyone here? I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be back in not even 2 minutes. Boom. I'm here. So, conserve your forces. Preserve your forces. Preserve your forces and energies by keeping them centralized at their strongest point. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeper than by flitting from one shallow mine to another. Intensify defeats and extensify every time. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, find the one key patron. The fat cow will give you milk for a long time to come. Interaction with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubt and hesitation will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistake you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold, no one honors the timid. Everyone admires the bold. Plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible uh, consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reserve your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. Play to people's fantasy. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth and reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes from disenchantment. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance and conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is a great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, appearing vulgar or common will make people disrespect you. For a king respects himself and inspires the same sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident of your powers, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. Yes, baby, wear the crown. Master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of the times, the trends that will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is not yet ripe, and to strike fiercely when it has reached fruition. Stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them, and you hold the strings. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. Trouble can often be traced to a single strong individual, the stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating or banishing them. Strike at the source of the trouble, and the sheep will scatter. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. A person you have seduced becomes your loyal pawn. And the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the resistance by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others, and they will grow to hate you. Assume formlessness. By taking a shape, by having a visible plan, you open yourself to attack. Instead of taking a form for your enemy to grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. The best way to protect yourself is to be as fluid and formless as water. Never bet on stability or lasting order. Everything changes. Key number 22, rise in love, reconnect with nature. You know. So there is no question that being in nature or even viewing nature pictures reduce the psychological symptoms of stress in your bodies. What this signify, let me fix that, is that we are less likely to be anxious and fearful in nature, and thereby we can more open to other people and to creative patterns of thought. And that's you can observe that just when you go take a walk in nature, everybody will say hi to you. Normally, they will salute you. Other places they won't, like grocery store, which is very unfractal. Every places that is a very unfractal building or whatever, they will ignore you. Everyone will ignore you. But if you go take a walk in nature, whoa, now and no more ignoring. So it's it's a pattern that's very strange, but I think it has to be explained by the fact that people are anxious and fearful in unfractal environment, and people are more open and loving in a nature environment. I think so. But again, like usually you go to a concert, even in concert, people will ignore you because it's very unfractal. Like I think the only place where people salute me or I have experienced a feeling of closeness to others is in nature. So I think that's very accurate as a statement. Milton is in the house. Milton is in the house. Vored. Yep, I'm still here. Leslie is there. I don't know. This thing says 0 viewers. Uh, Rarely, but yesterday I seen four viewers. But anyway, I don't do that to seek attention, to attract attention. It's the last of my concern. So there is no question that being in nature, or even that's it, I read that. So also nature often induce awe, wonder, and reverence. All emotions known to have a variety of benefits, promoting everything from well-being and altruism to humility to health. There is also some evidence that exposure to nature impacts the brain. Viewing natural beauty in the form of landscape paintings and video at least activates specific reward circuit in the brain associated with dopamine release that gives us a sense of purpose, joy, and energy to pursue our goals. But regrettably, people seem to be spending less time outdoors and less time immersed in nature than before. It is also clear that in the past 30 years, people's levels of stress and sense of busyness have risen dramatically. These converging forces have led environmental writer Richard Louv to coin the term nature deficit disorder, a form of suffering that comes from a sense of disconnection from nature and its powers. So we have a new deficit disorder now, nature deficit disorder. Make contact with the earth. Go outside, take off your shoes and socks, and sink your bare feet into the grass. If there's snow or ice on the ground, then find a tree and place your palm on the trunk. You can give you can give it a big tree hug if you're feeling the love. Just lean in and wrap your arms around it. Play in the dirt. Tend to a veggie patch or an herb garden. Play in the sand or make mud pies with little ones. Just as sinking your bare feet into the earth will ground you, so will digging into it with your hands. Bring nature indoors. Put some house plants. Keep a jar of fresh flowers. Put a crystal on your desk. Place a jar full of seashells and sand in your living room. Or start a pine cone collection. Bring nature indoors. Wake up with nature. Upon waking, open your window and stand in front of it. Look outside and take in all the beauty of nature. Breathe in the colors, shape, texture, and sounds. Notice the color of the sky, the shapes of the clouds, and the sounds of the birds. Allow the natural world to ground you into the here and now. Kiss the earth with your feet. One of my favorite quotes from Dick Jackman reminds us to slow down and notice nature. Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. The next time you walk out your front door, feel your feet connecting with the earth step by step. As you can see, connecting to nature doesn't signify you have to climb Mount McKinley in Alaska. Although I recommend peaceful outdoor walks and hikes as often as possible. Let nature be where you find it and where it's the easiest for you to access. Get outside, channel your inner child, and start your reconnection with nature now. More nature, more nature. Wash your brain, question everything. Wash your brain, question everything. A creative person is by nature a questioner. They are driven by doubt, curiosity, and wonderment. It is our question that fuel and drive our thinking. Many problems arise from making assumptions. If you assume, you think you know when you probably don't. Questioning destroys assumption. Ask question of yourself constantly, permanently. Permanently ask yourself these questions. Why? Why not? Why not me? Why not now? You can learn more by looking for an answer than finding it. Questions are more important than answers because they help you to be more engaged with the world around you. Voltaire said, judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. We awaken by asking the right questions. We awaken when we see knowledge being spread that goes against our personal experience. We awaken when we see popular opinion being wrong, but accepted as being right, and what is right being pushed as being wrong. We awaken by seeking answers in corners that are not popular, and we awaken by turning on the light inside when everything outside feels dark. Suzy Kassim. Most of the time, we see only what we want to see or what others tell us to see, instead of really investigate to see what is really there. We embrace illusions only because we are presented with the illusions that they are embraced by the majority. When in truth, they only become popular because they are pounded at us by the media with such an intensity and high level of repetition that it's mere force disguised lies and truths. And like obedient school children, we do not question their validity and swallow everything up like medicine. Why? Because since the early days of your youth, we have been conditioned to accept that the direction of the herd and authority anywhere is always right. Susie again. Research the quest for an in depth knowledge and wisdom. Do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken and rumored by many. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your religious books. Do not believe in anything merely on the authority of your teachers and elders. Do not believe in tradition because they have been handed down from for many generations. But after observation and analysis, when you find that anything agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit of one and all, then accept it and live up to it. Boom. Key number 24, acceptance. Divine responsibility. So liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. But here I'm gonna modify it, so I think I'm gonna take out his name. I'm gonna change a word. That's not really how he says it. I don't like the word mean. Liberty signify responsibility. That is why most men dread it. Not taking responsibility may be less demanding, less painful, and mean less and signify less time spent in the unknown. I could write it like this to signify, and signify less time spent in the unknown. It's more comfortable. You can just take it easy and blame problems in your life or on someone else. But there's always a price to pay. When you don't take responsibility for your life, you give away your personal power. Disciplining yourself to do what you know is right and important, although difficult, is the high road to pride, self esteem, and personal satisfaction. Brian Tracy. Why do people often have self esteem problems? I'd say that one of the big reasons is that they don't take responsibility for their lives. Instead, someone else is blamed for the bad things that happen, and a victim mentality is created and empowered. This damages this damages many vital parts in your life. Stuff like relationships, ambition, and achievements. That hurt will not stop until you wise up and take responsibility for your life. There is really no way around it, and the difference is really remarkable. Just try it out. You feel so much better about yourself, even if you only take personal responsibility for your own life for today. This is also a way to stop relying on external validation like praise from other people to feel good about yourself. Instead, you start building a stability within and a sort of inner spring that fuels your life with positive emotions, no matter what other people say or do around you. Which brings us to the next reason to take personal responsibility. By taking responsibility for our lives, we not only gain control on what happens, it also gain a grip. I prefer gain a grip. Gain a grip of what happens. It also become natural to feel like you deserve more in life as your self-esteem builds and as you do the right thing more persistently. You feel better about yourself. This is critically important because it's most often you that are standing in your own way and in the way of your achievement. It's you that start the self-sabotage and hold yourself back in subtle or not so subtle ways once you are on your way to the prosperity you dream of. To remove that inner resistance, you must feel and think that you actually deserve what you want. You may be able to do a little about that by affirmations and other positive techniques. But the biggest impact by far comes from taking responsibility for yourself and your life by doing the right thing. Taking action becomes natural. Action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility. It is often said that your thoughts become your actions, but without taking responsibility for your life, those thoughts often just stay on the mental stage and aren't translated into action. Taking responsibility for your life is that extra ingredient that makes taking action more of a natural thing. You don't get stuck in just thinking and wishing so much. You become proactive instead of passive. 5. Understand the limits of your responsibility. Make the best use of what it is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus. Taking responsibility for your life is great, but that is also all that you have control over. You can't control the results of your actions. You can't control how someone reacts to what you say or what you do. Control. Let's see what we find. Authority curb discipline. Can discipline can govern? Maybe you can govern, but that is also all that you have governance over. Govern, maybe. We'll check, see what they offer else. Rule, supervision, ascendancy, bridge, charge, oversight, management, jurisdiction, government, force. Maybe force? You have force over. But that is also all that you have force. You can't force the result of your action. You can't force how someone reacts. Yeah, force. I think I'm going to put force. You can't force the result of your action. You can't force how someone reacts to what you say or what you do. It's important to know where your limits are, otherwise, you'll create a lot of unnecessary suffering for yourself and waste energy and focus by taking responsibility for what you can't and never really could control, could govern. Maybe. Govern. I'll see. Don't take don't forget to take responsibility in everyday life too. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Life consists of each day. Life is made of each day, not just the big events sometime in the future. So don't forget to take responsibility for the little things today, too. Don't postpone it. Taking responsibility for your life can be hard and taxing on you. It's not something you master over the weekend. So you might as well get started with it right now. Aim to be your best self. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Peak performance begins with you taking complete responsibility for your life and everything that happens to you. This is, of course, not easy, but it's a lot of fun, and the payoff is massive. You are not trying to escape from your life anymore. Instead, you take management. Instead, you manage your life. Instead, you take control. What did I add for control? Instead, you take authority, domination, discipline, governance. Instead, you take control. Anyway, I'll see after. Face what's going on, and so the world and new options open up for you. You start taking action, not just when you feel like it. Improvement isn't about short spurts once in a while. Persistent action is what really pays off and can help you achieve just about anything. You build your self esteem to higher levels and may discover that many smaller problems you experience regularly, such as negative thinking, self defeating behavior, and troubled relationship with yourself and others, start to correct themselves as your self esteem improves. You gain an inner stability and can create your own positive feelings within or without the help of validation from other people. So, how do you take responsibility? Well, it's simply a choice that you have to make. Reviewing the reasons above and also the awesome quotes in is for me a personal way to keep myself in line. Though it doesn't always work. Doing the right thing in every situation is hard to do and also hard to always keep in mind. So don't aim for perfection. Just try to be as good as a person as you can be right now. When you know those very important reasons above it, it becomes a lot easier to stick with taking responsibility. And do not rationalize to yourself that you didn't really have to take responsibility in various situations. That doesn't that doesn't signify that I beat myself up endlessly about it. I just observe that I have hurt myself in my life, and that doesn't feel good. And so I become less prone to repeat the same mistake. Also, two habits that I think are essential to be able to do the right and often hard thing and take personal responsibility are increasing your energy levels and learning to be present. Without the extra energy and the presence, it becomes more difficult to take action and to create extra resistance and negativity within yourself. You are completely free to choose to search for a deeper purpose in your life. when you're in a constant constant is a good word there. When you are in a constant state of upheaval in your life, when you're struggling for your survival, you will survival should be more e here, serve, like survival. When you struggle for your survival, you will rarely, very rarely, have the privilege of time and space to investigate the deeper significance of the higher purpose in your life. When you're in survival mode, your immediate needs are your basic survival. Food, shelter, safety, and the like. All your energy is being channeled into meeting those basic needs. Many of us live in a privileged world where having to live in survival mode doesn't exist. Despite that, our minds often trick ourselves into thinking that we live in a world where we need to be in constant survival mode. We begin to think that the search for our life's deeper significance, our unmet fears we come across on our spiritual quests and challenges we meet as spiritual seekers is what being in survival mode is. As a result, we start to behave as vulnerable people. We start to behave like it's a burdensome responsibility that we simply have to bear. So rather than completely embracing that freedom, that privilege to be able to delve deep into our spiritual seeking, we behave like it's such a heavy burden to carry. Wishing we were the person next to us who hadn't woken up, or that we didn't have to be the kindest person in the world, or that we didn't have to go and meet God in mid-station, or be responsible, accountable, and all that. I'm calling out this behavior. I'm calling it all BS. You have the luxury and privilege of time and space, regardless how small in your life. If you have the opportunity to ponder on the deeper significance of life and you make things better for others, signify you live in a privileged state of reality. Signify you live in a privileged state of reality. Redundant conversation about politics and the state of the world will not change anything. Holding a different vibration and being an example to others, however, have the potential to create positive change. The entire world population doesn't have to have a spiritual awakening. It's sufficient to have enough people choosing a path of awakening to tip the balance. Each and every one of you, spiritual seekers, can be that tipping point. Every time you meet a subconscious fear, you have the opportunity to free yourself from it. Acknowledge it as a privileged opportunity and not as a burden that stops you from enjoying things you used to enjoy before your awakening. You have to change your mind about yourself and free yourself from those imaginary burdens. Stop believing you're in survival mode when in truth you're not. You are freer than you can possibly imagine. What is awaiting you on the other side of it is something truly full of grace and power. There is divine responsibility that comes with that power. If you're not stuck in true survival mode, if you know where your next meal is going to come from, if you know your family is safe, you are free enough to read this post and free enough to know that you have a roof over your head, then it's your divine responsibility to hold that vibration of awakening without believing it's a burden. You are a light bearer. You are a priestess. You are the priestess. That is a divine responsibility that you must know with grace. Don't put those on yourself as some kind of special privilege burden that you have to carry all by yourself. If it feels like a dead weight around your neck, then you're missing the point and you haven't met yourself as God as you have been invited to do. It's time to call out those who are pretending that they have a problem. It's time to call BS on this idea You will keep recycling the behavior of someone in survival mode if you don't change your perception of this reality. Your body will continue to be in a constant fight or flight response, and you will keep pumping out the stress hormone as a result. Your body will keep believing that you are a victim of a circumstance when in fact you are not at all. You are a consciousness engineer creating your own reality. Stop thinking of yourself as a limited human being. You are severely limiting yourself if you're thinking you're nothing more than solid matter. It will hinder forming a perception of yourself as pure consciousness. Embrace the truth that you are actually vibration, pure energy, pure consciousness, and that truth is reflected back to us in everything. You have the privilege of being able to choose your reality. Why don't you own and embrace that? Because that divine responsibility is terrifying to you. That is why you pretend that you're in survival mode, even though you actually have the freedom, the power, the control, and the authority. You can't possibly make spiritual seeking into a burden when you're free to carry on with that seeking and delve as deep into it as you want. No one says it's going to be easy. You're not going to develop those spiritual muscle if you are walking an easy path. You are not here to walk that easy path. Having that spiritual steel signify that yes, yeah, signify that yes, you will have to devote time to your daily practice. You will have to wake in the middle of the night when you're called to do so. You will be in discomfort while looking into the deeper significance of your life. Spiritual seeking will not be your band aid that covers up what you're afraid to look at. It's not what you're here to do. Your reason for awakening is not just to simply stand on your little patch of the earth. If you're reading this, chances are your soul is yearning to meet its own power. This is your invitation to change the world and to change human consciousness. Move beyond the trinkets of spiritual retail therapy and meet yourself as God made manifest. That is a true place of power. Release the belief that life is a burdensome and heavy. Release your self pity. Own your freedom instead. Truly own it. Your path of spiritual seeking is a gift to be a leader in the world that will alter the fabric of reality. Your greatest freedom is your ability to change how you perceive yourself. Your greatest liberty. Your greatest liberty is your ability to change how you perceive yourself. This is how we will reach the tipping point for humanity. No more ego or pity stories. No more helplessness. No more BS. No more telling yourself that you are limited and finite. Take up the mantle of the priestess and the god or goddesses. Without fear, declare yourself change from within. You changing yourself is your choice, but the ripple effect that result from it will help change how others see themselves as well. That is reality engineering, and that is your power as a spiritual seeker. This work is not for our own benefit only. Make a better choice now. Meet your fear to become fearless as a result. All my love. Whew, that was something, eh? Yeah, that's powerful. Key 25 expands your sense of sacred mission. Let's see if you have put something in the chat if someone's there. I haven't looked. No. But I'm done for now, and I'll be here again later on. We will go with the key expand your sense of sacred mission. Key number 25. That's what we will look at later on. Tonight, large up, Leslie, Milton, millions of you watching, ready to be awakened across the earth. I don't think it's million, but maybe. No, I don't think it's maybe that 144,000 soul awaken is maybe closer to reality than millions. So yeah, yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful stuff. Even me, I haven't read it for a while. Like I've been, but now I'm gonna put a lot of energy into it and to getting it done and publishing and share it with you guys. And yeah, so large up. I'll be here later on. Boom, he's out. Much love. It's all love.